What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Extra Innings Podcast. Your host here, Elijah, and we're here back today, with another episode. Today it'll be Saturday, so I'm going to release this one later on today on the 31st, right before June. So we're approaching the summer months, which are very crucial, especially for some of these teams who are kind of on the fence of teetering towards below 500, above 500, kind of these teams who are really trying to find out if they're going to be really competing for anything this year. These next 2 months are going to be telling of that. So we're going to be talking about a couple teams, Astros namely. I've had some conversations with some guys and they think I'm just a hater, but I'm going to explain how I feel about them and why I feel that way about them. We're going to talk about first coming up about the Yankees and the Dodgers series, and I'm already pissed off about that from last night. We got a couple other things I'm going to talk about. So we got plenty. So first on the docket, I guess, on my notes app here, we've got the Yanks and Dodgers. So last night, obviously they're playing in LA. Playing on Apple TV on Friday night. Listen, hold on a second. Listen to me real quick, all right? Look, I'm all for MLB trying to expand where they can, as much as they can, for some of these games and trying to get as much viewership as they can for baseball. Straight up, and I'm not taking a shot at DeAndre Willis and whoever the other guy was narrating or commentating for the Apple TV game last night, but not even really them. Everything else about that broadcast is really bad. It's really bad. Their stats are not correct. There was multiple times I noticed, like there was one they gave up a comparison of, I think it was like in the second inning, a comparison of Judge and Ohtani because they both homered in the first inning. And it showed games this year, and apparently Judge has played 162. And some of the things they're saying is just so far out there. You're just like, good Lord, who? So that's one thing. Like I don't mind, and from an aesthetic standpoint, I love the statistics in the corner. I think the camera views are really great. It's a good picture. It looks really great. It looks premium. I'm not going to take away from that. It's obviously Apple. They're going to do a great job. But from a statistical and for like more than just the average guy going out to eat and watching the game, or like you're an actual baseball fan, you pay attention to stats and you like watching the game and you like to actually see the game from a different lens, like when you're actually listening to a broadcast from a home or away broadcast, they've got to do better because that was just horrible. And it wasn't even, and again, I watched it last week too because Zach Gallen pitched, and I like to watch the Diamondbacks, and they were on Friday night. And they were saying that Zach Gallen has been one of the great pitchers, and he has over the last couple of years, but this year has not been that. And they were like, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. But I'm like, do you watch baseball? Because this year, no, man, he's not been that. So there's just certain things and I've caught a couple games here and there on Friday nights on Apple TV, and it's just like I said, the aesthetic, the view looks great, but some of the commentators need to be either switched out or they need to be more educated in what they're talking about because it was bad. It's been bad. And I'm not the only one thinking that because it just sounds horrific and they need to fix it. But back to the game itself. So I watched it. I'm going to be honest. I was gassed yesterday. I didn't make it. That's the thing about these LA games, man. I don't make it far into them because I'm gassed by the time, I get it pretty early. So by the time like the mid late innings roll around, I'm done. I'm asleep. And I bought these evening glasses. I got a lotion up. My hands are dry as shit. I've been trying to maximize and fix my sleep consistency. So I bought these glasses, right? They're these red light glasses or evening glasses. You wear them at night. And every time I put those fuckers on, dude, I'm out. Like within 30, 40 minutes, I'm asleep. The things create melatonin in your body and you just knock out. So I made it to, I think, the thing is that the Yankees were still in the lead when I fell asleep. I think it was like the fifth, right before the explosion, right? When Max Fried kind of fell apart. Here's the thing. I went through because I went back and I watched everything I missed. Obviously, Shohei Ohtani hit another home run. They're like, oh my God, Shohei Ohtani, and honest to God, I'm not shitting on the guy. I'm not being a hater. I'm not taking anything away from the greatness that he is. Excuse me. But the second home run he hit, like, okay, Judge hits one, Okay, cool. He hits one. Awesome. The second one he hit didn't really do anything. It's 5-3. Like, okay, yeah, put another run on the board, but it wasn't like a crucial game winning, like game tying, take the lead. It was just another home run. Like, great. And Fried piped it. And he piped the first one he hit too. First pitch of the game. So it's like, I mean, it's not really anything spectacular. Yes, he hit 2 home runs. Like, you've got Eugenio Suarez in Arizona hit 4 in one game. Like, I just don't see that. Like, 2 home run games happen. These are the best in the league. These are the best players in baseball. It's going to happen. So I'm not super sold on the hype of the 2 home run game. And I have no words for it. Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani inspires in awe and confidence. Like, no, come on, bro. Come on. I get it. Yankees, Dodgers rematch from the World Series, but tone it down, bro. Good Lord. I just don't see they got to calm it down with that, man. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, but I wanted to kind of go over the box from yesterday. If I can find it, that would be nice. I swear to God, if they're showing me the World Series, no. Why would I possibly want to see the game from last year, MLB? Why would that be what I want to see? That's stupid. All right. So these are from, no, these are playing now. I don't want to, what's today? Yeah, today's the 31st. Okay. So, so Max Fried obviously been ruled one of the best pitchers in baseball thus far. I think he went into this game with like a 1.29 ERA. I mean, it's pretty incredible. He's got 7. Yeah, he's 7-1. His ERA only rose to a 1.92, and he gave up 6. Right, so that's still one bad start. It's not gonna like rule him out of anything, right? I mean, he wasn't gonna be perfect. No one's perfect. This is Major League Baseball. It's impossible. So 1.92. He was doing okay. Gave up a couple hits here and there. I think the Tommy Edman, he had to give up a double there. The home run to Shohei wasn't as sharp as he normally is. I will say that the last couple starts I've seen him throw, he has been like on point, obviously. Though it's starting to rise a little bit. Obviously, his last 7 games he's 3-1 with a 2.28. Obviously, but again, he was never going to be perfect all the way through. You can't expect it. You just can't expect it. But still, I think he's still one of the best statistically pitchers in baseball right now, and arguably all the way around, right? But he goes into the 6th, gets into trouble. Hold on, let me pull something up here. He gets into trouble there. Where's the box? So he gets into trouble, going into the 6th. It's 5-2, right? Because the second home run from Shohei. So it's 5-2, and then it kind of shit hits the fan. They put up a 4 spot there in the bottom of the 6th, and they put in Tim Hill. I'm all for Tim Hill, man. I think Tim Hill's he's deceptive. He's good. He's a left-handed guy, really tall, lanky dude. But he walked in a freaking run. That was not good. And it ends up getting out of it. Then they come in the next inning, De Los Santos, who only threw 1 out, 3 hits, 2 runs. That didn't do good. Haven't seen much from De Los Santos, to be honest. And then they go to Hedrick, who threw 1 in the 3rd, and he got 1 strikeout, no run. So really, it was just kind of that. I'm sorry, they went to Loizica first, who got them out of that. Right? Is that how it went? They went to I didn't even see anything on Loizica. He went in after Fried. But Tim Hill fell apart. De Los Santos fell apart. Yeah, that's kind of the thing, man. And this gave me like honest to God, like flashbacks from the fall from the World Series, the whole thing. The Yankees go, and this is game 5 all over again, right? The Yankees go up high and then they blow the lead. This is very similar to what happened, and it kind of gives you kind of flashbacks and scary flashbacks. But again, it shouldn't have been there. The Yankees bullpen, Max Fried, kind of fell apart. And I give him a pass, right? I give him a little bit of it's shitty time. You wanted him to come out and be the Max Fried we'd seen in the last 15 games. But you're going to have those games. And it just happened to fall in this one. Okay, not a big deal. It's game 1. They got 2 more. Not a big deal. So you give him a pass. But the rest of these guys had to have minimized. The De Los Santos was bad. Tim Hill was bad. It's just got to tighten it up, right? And the Yankees bullpen has been decent. They didn't have Luke Weaver, I think, available yesterday. He was in the dugout, so he wasn't pitching at all. You didn't see Williams, so hopefully for sure you're going to see Williams and Weaver tonight if it comes into it. It's just you have to. The thing with any team going against the Dodgers at this point in the season, especially with what everyone's known and seen, and the fact that they literally have. I think I saw this correctly. They have the payroll of their pitchers that are hurt is bigger than like 3 teams combined, which is nuts. So you have to, that bullpen is slim, or more than anything, the bullpen is thin or very inexperienced because they're pulling in other guys. Obviously, right now they got Gonsolin, May, Kershaw. They just lost Evan Phillips. He's going to be having Tommy John. So their pitching staff is thin or very inexperienced because they're bringing guys up from their farm system. They still have Tanner Scott. They still have Vesia. They have Kasparius, right? But the Dryer guy I hadn't seen before, and they have a couple other pieces like Knack and a couple other things here and there that they can put together. But in all honesty, their pitching is very slim right now. They are expecting a lot from their starters. They're going to need their starters to get deep in games. That's why last night, honestly, the Yankees putting up 5 on Gonsolin, and you look in the bullpen into the third and fourth, and there's no one warming up. So they're going full on their starters. They need him to get through minimum 5, unless it turns into a shit show. Then I'm sure they'd finally get somebody else. But normally 5, you're kind of like, hey, let's get somebody moving a little bit. They didn't have anybody going, nobody. So that shows you where they're at with their pitching depth. It's not there. So you have to, as a team, know we have to just keep on putting it on them. And the Yankees kind of didn't do that. They got to the 5 spot, and then it just fell off. And that, you got to keep it's the same concept, right? It's the same thing that happened last year, aside from the defensive issues. So you got to keep the foot on them, man, because if you can keep beating into their pitching, you're going to set them up for a really tough, not just this series, but maybe 1-2 series. It's going to have a lasting effect, right? So you want to keep it on them. So hopefully the Yankees can come through and do something today. Hopefully come out a little bit more. The power is there. And again, 5 should be enough to win a ball game. 5 should be enough to win a game. So I'm hoping that they can come through here. So they play again tonight at 7:15. They've got Nat going, who was a bullpen guy last year. His ERA is a 5.22, and we got Will Warren, who's been pitching really well. So, it's going to be interesting to see. Pretty much of the same lineup as they had yesterday. Pretty much the same lineup they've got for the Dodgers. I think Will Smith caught last night. I think the only difference is they got Kim in there at short tonight. Last thing I'm going to say, we got to talk about this Mookie Betts thing. I was on Twitter last night getting ready to watch the game. And I saw this, and I follow quite a few meme pages, right? Some baseball meme pages. And I saw this thing that was like, Mookie Betts ruled out tonight from stubbing his toe. No bullshit. I sent that to like 3 people thinking like, oh my God, what the fuck, right? Like, this is a joke. No, that was real. Homie stubbed his toe and was out, and he's questionable for tonight. He's not in the lineup. I don't know if they've turned in lineups yet. It's still a little bit early. But he's still not in the lineup. For stubbing his toe. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, he doesn't want to face Max Fried, which if he wanted to face Max Fried, I guess last night was the night he probably should have done it. But yeah, so no Mookie Betts because, yes, he stubbed his toe. I don't know if the dude was trying to kick something. I mean, I don't know how badly you stub your toe to where was he running? I don't know. We need more information. This happened in the locker room. So we need more information on why or how you stub your toe that hard and you can't play. I don't know. Incredible. All right, so moving on. So like I've told a lot of people here, I went to Chase Field last year. I fell in love with it. I actually went down there to play in a tournament. Happened to catch a game towards the end when there was kind of like that weird. It was like a tie between the Padres and Diamondbacks, like 2 other teams. If they won, there's a bunch of conditionals. Whoever won XYZ, we're going to make it into the postseason. And I caught a game of the Padres and the Diamondbacks. I had become very familiar with their farm and their team since 23 when I watched them go to the World Series. I thought they're just an underdog team. They're fun to watch. They had a lot of scrappy players. They're interesting to watch. I'm a fan of, I was a fan of Zach Gallen. Still am a fan of Zach Gallen. Corbin Burns, obviously a big grab at the end in free agency last year. Corbin Carroll, they got Josh Naylor, Eugenio Suarez, who's done great things this year. 4 home run game, put himself in the record books. Like, they are a good team, which is why it's like every time I'm going to watch a team, I'm going to be like, I'm going to really dig deep and dive in on these guys, and I'm going to try to learn some stuff about them. They go the opposite direction. I don't, I don't know. Funny, I'm actually in a group on Twitter of all these Diamondbacks fans, and we talk pretty much daily about stuff that's going on, and it's been a little bit dim. It's been very dark in that group chat. But so we got to talk about this. I mean, we have to talk about this. So I know I talked about it last week about the Zach Gallen start and how it seemed like Torey Lovullo wasn't pulling pitches at the right time. He did it with Zach Gallen. He did it with Merrill Kelly. And obviously, there's been a lot of talk about, how do I put this? The lack of play from the Diamondbacks and how strong their team is. And you've heard it from Torey. The guys, there's been a lot of people calling for Torey's job number one. I'm never going to do that. I think that there needs to be change. I think I've said that on Twitter a couple times. Like, he's got to be better. I'm not going to be like, fire him. I'll never say that. I think there needs to be a change. And unfortunately, when things go this way, the first person to go head to ship, as we've seen now twice this year with the Pirates and the Rockies, first person to go is going to be the manager. And I like Torey Lovullo. I think he's a great coach. I think he's done some great things. A lot of hate thrown his way at this point because of the way the season has turned out with the amount of talent that they do have. Pushing that aside, right? There's something wrong in Arizona. Again, there's something wrong in Arizona, and I'm going to explain why. Come on now. Let's look at the roster. That's the first place we're going to look at. All right. So aside from the starters, which they just got back Justin Martinez, right? Starting, Fott, who's been decent. Gallen, unless he's pitching against a New York team, has been nowhere to be found. Burns. And before that, they had Rodriguez, who I think he's on the IL right now, so I'm not sure who they've got in his spot. But regardless, Gabby Moreno and Jose Herrera behind the plate. Some of the best. Ketel Marte. Like, we're going into infielders now. Tim Tawa, Eugenio Suarez, Pavin Smith, who's been swinging the bat really well. Geraldo Perdomo, great shortstop. Josh Naylor, mashes, been playing great defense. Ketel Marte, mashes, plays great defense. Corbin Carroll, Randall Grichuk, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who smashes, and Alec Thomas, who's not the greatest at the plate, but he's a defensive specialist guy. So you look at this team, right? You look at this team and you're going through them and you're like, this team has to be winning ball games. On paper, they should be winning a shit ton of games. But that's not the case. They're 27-30. And then again last night, I think they're playing the Nationals, the freaking Nationals, who have zero business being anywhere in the same sphere as this ball club. Come in there and they put up like 6 in 2 innings on Merrill Kelly, who has been arguably pretty decent, man. They did this experiment with Jordan Lawler, who, okay, Jordan Lawler's been good in Reno. He's played decent. This is now the second time they brought him up where he doesn't pan, right? Now there's questions, and he's over there smiling, acting like he's having a good time. He had 2 fucking errors the other night against Pittsburgh in the Paul Skeens start. Like, and he's having a great time. Like, dude, no, you have to have a feel of where these guys are at. I know you've come up and you haven't had every start, but you have to have a feel of where this club is at. And there's nowhere to smile at this point in the season for these guys. I mean, a lot of these guys are like, you're getting to a point where you can't turn it around. I think they have June. To be honest, I'm looking at my calendar. I think they have June to square this up. And if they don't, the season's a wash. So it's going to be interesting. But again, I don't know what is actually happening here for these guys to underperform at the rate that they're underperforming. Again, I'm going to go over the bullpen is the number one, the first problem, aside from whatever's happening at the plate, because some of these guys are performing, and when they are performing, it's good. But it really feels like every game that I've caught, no lead is safe. You saw the game with Colorado. What was it, like 13-10? Like, it's fucking ridiculous, man. Like, you can't win a ball game giving up 13 runs. You should have never. Even the fact that you went back and forth with them is even more embarrassing, right? It's the fucking Rockies, dude. Hold on, let me pull up the stats from yesterday. Here you go. Again, Murillo is one of those guys who's been coming in multiple times. I haven't seen Murillo do good all year. He throws 100, and he's a thrower, is what it feels like. He has 2 pitches, a fastball and a slider, and every time he throws it, it gets mashed or he walks guys. And it's like, at what point do you stop giving him the ball? But I guess, I don't know. Do you not have anybody else? I don't know. So Merrill Kelly went 5, 6 hits, 6 runs, 4 earned, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, 2 home runs. So not horrible, right? But in the first, they give up 2. Then the Diamondbacks get 4. Then the inning goes 2 goose eggs in the second. Then boom, the Nationals get 4. And the D-backs get 2. So we're tied at 6 in the third. 6 runs in 3 innings. Can't happen. Either side. 2 goose egg in the fourth, goose egg in the fifth, another 2 from the Nationals in the sixth, nothing from the Diamondbacks, another 1 from the Nationals in the seventh, nothing from the Diamondbacks, 0-0. And then again, in the bottom of the ninth, the D-backs get 1, 9-7. You cannot win ball games giving up 7 runs. So again, that's just one example. I can go down the season. We can find a lot of games like this. But for all the Diamondbacks fans, I'm gonna be honest, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with these guys or what needs to change. It's not Lovello. I can't even say this is Lovello anymore. I can't say, like, because he's not playing. He's not making he makes the calls to put the guys in, but he's only doing what he has with what he has available, right? So it's like, at what point do you sit there and you're like, what the fuck? I don't know. All right, moving on from that. Not too bad. Again, if anybody's got an answer for what to do with these guys, please let me know, and maybe I can let these other guys know. But even these guys in the chat that I'm in, we have no answers. 0. I don't know. I'm honest. I don't know. It's a weird thing happening with Arizona, who have an immense amount of talent and just are not putting it together on all pieces. Like, it's like a puzzle that's just not connecting on any piece. You haven't found not one to put this fucker together. So interesting. Now we're going to go talk about the Braves. I think it was yesterday, wasn't it? Let me go back. Let me find when, what's that guy's name? Smith something. A bad look in Atlanta. I think it's a bad look. I'm kind of up for debate on it. It doesn't look necessarily good, right? And they're another team that's kind of, they were down here, they went up, and now they're kind of, trickling back down, not doing that great. I hate how slow. Oh, it's because there's a live game. MLB's trying to load me the game right now. I don't want to watch the game. Come on. Okay. I think it was either yesterday or Thursday. What I'm talking about here. Yeah, it was on Thursday. I knew it because I was working whenever the game was happening. I was working. Give me 1 sec. If this thing loads, god damn, it was any slower, dude. All right, I think it was. Yeah, it was this one. Let me see. No, it was a couple days ago. Maybe it was on Wednesday. Was that Wednesday? Yeah, it was. No, what day was this? It was on the day of the doubleheader. I think that was on Thursday or Friday. Doesn't matter. So Smith Shawver, however you pronounce his last name, right? He's pitching rookie, pitching decent, 3.86 ERA, not bad. A shining light in this rotation of what the Braves have, this roller coaster the Braves have endured this year, right? Now, what I will say, here's what happened. So he's pitching. I think it was the third inning. He only pitched to 2 and 3. It had been the third inning. He has 2 outs in the third. He throws a ball, gets smashed, and you immediately see him do this thing with his arm, like, that didn't like, it didn't look right. No movement from the manager. Brian Snicker, older guy, staff, nothing, right? So everyone's kind of like, whoa. The only person to notice this was Spencer Strider, who walked over from the other side of the dugout. I was like, hey, you need to go get this guy. You need to go talk to him. Something's not right. And then they pulled him out. And initially he was like, no, I'm good. Like, obviously he's going to try to keep, sometimes that's the point of athletic trainers, is to protect the players from themselves, right? So he's like, I don't know. And then the manager and the trainer are like, I don't know if we're going to go out there. And Strider's like, get out there, man. Go talk to this guy. There's something not right. And sure enough, UCL, he's going to need surgery, whether that's UCL reconstructive or they're going to put that bracing that they put in Strider. But there's a lot of people talking back and forth now. That the both sides of this are, is it a bad look that, and obviously there's a lot of things happening in that Braves world right now. They had a really horrible start to the season. There's this stuff with, Ron Acuna Jr. calling out Snitker over Twitter, and then he deleted it. And then, they haven't been playing that great. And, there's a lot of just, right. Not a lot happening, right? Good things happening at least. And then this goes down as another hurt because, you already lost Jurickson Profar to that, whatever the hell he was taking. He's suspended. And now you got crap with this guy who's going to be missing probably a good chunk of time, whether that's the brace or the UCL reconstructive. Wasn't good. So you have to think, is it a bad look on the training staff and the coaching that they didn't notice? Shouldn't they have been watching the game and watching the players and noticing, hey, that didn't look right, or you're like, personally, I think it's strange because every other club you see, if something happens on that mound, there's somebody like, hey, we're gonna go out there even to talk to him if it's something not serious. We're gonna go out and talk to him and make sure everything's okay. They didn't even notice. Another player down the way had to tell you about it. So I think personally, it's a bad look. It's a bad look. Um, it's just, it's not like the worst thing in the world. It just doesn't look good. It makes it feel like maybe this guy's not as in tune with these guys and with the game like he should be. And he's up there in age, man. Snicker's old. So yeah, just something to look out for. I don't know. I personally think that how do you not notice when the dude just popped his UC? I just pay attention to the game, man. Pay attention to the game. Ridiculous. But yeah, that's a blow for the Braves for sure, on top of the everything else that's happened in the season. So hopefully, I mean, they've been playing okay, but they're obviously, from everything I've read, they're on a downward trend offensively. So we're gonna have to see. I think they took 1 of 2 in that doubleheader. Yeah, they took 1 of the 2 in the doubleheader against Philly. Big win, but I don't think they won that series. Now, the next one on my list that I've been regretting to talk about, and I have friends that are gonna love this line. The Astros are now a 500 ball club. First of all, before I even get into that, I haven't been a fan of McCullers, mostly because I just, you would think with all the injury and everything that's happened, he hasn't really pitched much since 22. We're in 2025. You're kind of like, hey, like at what point do you kind of cut that cord and let him loose? That was my thing with him, and I thought he was average. He's all right. I mean, but this year he's pitched okay. He had a 12 strikeout game last week or a couple days ago against the Athletics. But for some reason, and I don't hate the guy. I talk shit about him sometimes to my friends because it pisses him off. And it kind of made me feel bad because he's going through something similar to what happened with the Red Sox guy with Liam Hendricks, and that he's had to hire 24-hour security at his house. Why? Who is hating McCullers that much? Why and why? He just played great against I don't understand. Because he was getting death threats. Who's sending him death threats? Why? What did he do? Drilled threats after a rocky outing on May 10th against the Cincinnati Reds. He did have a rocky outing. I remember that. I understand people are very passionate. This is coming from McCullers. I understand people are very passionate, and people love the Astros and love sports, but threatening my kids and murder of them is a little bit hard to deal with. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I'm trying to limit my cursing on here. I think bringing kids into the equation, threatening to find them, or next time they see us in public, they're going to stab. What the hell? What the shit? Oh my God. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, God, that can't happen, dude. Again, that has no place for in baseball at all. Zero. I don't understand why that has to happen, or why that needs to happen, or why that's even a thing. I don't understand. Just had a spill here. But yeah, I don't quite understand. I don't get it. I don't understand why that's a thing, or why, we need to have that in baseball, or why somebody feels that threatened to do something like that. Hold on a second here, guys. Hold on a second. Ugh. Spilling drinks out here like I'm fucking some little kid. I got that cleaned up. Anyway, yeah, so my thing is this, right? Like, oh, hold on. Extra junk. Why is that not closed? All right. Extra junk closet over there had junk. I need to clean this up. Anyway, yeah, I don't understand. He had one bad outing, one bad start, and you're going to threaten to kill his kids in public? Come on, bro. No place. Zero place for that in baseball. And I don't understand. And this is kind of going back to the same thing with Duran, the same thing with Liam Hendricks. And I think personally, as I've kind of done a little bit of hypothesizing, I guess, and thinking about the whole situation, like I really and this is my honest opinion here. I really think that a lot of this animosity, the hate, the saying stuff like that to like where people are actually going to potentially harm you and your family over a game, it comes with a lot of this big increase in sports betting. And it's hard for me to not think that could possibly be it. It has to be it. It has to be. What other reason is there? You look at it's, and this has only happened like really honestly, like over the last couple of years. And it's with the increasing in sports bet and the more that it's out there, and a lot of people are betting money they don't have, or they're in the deep, or whatever. I'm not going to sit here and say that that's the sole reason. I think that could be why. But to threaten a kid's family over a 1-game blow, like, come on, dude, that's ridiculous. I just don't see it. I don't understand it. I don't know why. But again, that's where we're at right now. Moving away from that trash, the Astros are now at a .544 winning percentage. Now, this is where people are going to get upset with me. They're going to get mad. I don't care. Whatever. Get upset. You got to be fair, and you have to be honest in the sense that, yes, the Astros are in first place. Yes, the Astros have fallen from grace, or fallen from where they used to be. If the 2017 that has a big fat asterisk on it. Yes. And then in 2022, when they won again, they don't have the same power. They don't have Bregman. They're going to have Yordan for I don't know how much longer. They traded Tucker. They don't have the pitching staff that they did back then when they had Cole in 17. And the list goes on and on of guys that they've gotten rid of who are not there anymore, whatever, right? You can go back and forth on it. And you know, that's all I can really say. I mean, they're not the same team. They haven't been the same team in a long time. But the thing with the Astros, and I will give them this credit here, is no matter what, they will continue to find ways to win ball games. And I tell people that all the time. I'm not an Astros fan. I'm not. I think for people in Texas, specifically me here in Texas, I think it's a bandwagon team for people who don't watch baseball. Just be like, I'm an Astros fan. It's like, you don't know shit. Like, sure, you're an Astros fan, whatever. And I'm not taking away from the guys who are true Astros fans. Like, I know guys who are true Astros fans all the way through. But that's mostly why I don't care for the Astros, because everyone just bandwagons to them, and it's annoying. But you know, the thing with the Astros is that no matter what, and I say this every fucking year, no matter how, but last year they had a terrible start, still made it through had a little bit of a run going into the postseason. And again this year, as bad as they start and as bad as they go, they're like a cockroach, right? They just keep coming. They don't stop. It's like no matter what, no matter how bad, how down they are, they just some way or another will rise, and they're going to be there. They're going to be there at the end no matter what. And that's how I see the Astros. And I don't particularly care for them, but you can't not see that. They're inevitable. They're going to be there, at least for the past couple of years. I don't know how much longer that's going to reign true, because again, they're trickling down the assets that they have. But here we are. They're in first place again. But to play devil's advocate with that saying is to be quite honest. The AL West is terrible. It's bad. It's bad ball, right? Astros are in first place at a 31-26. Not a great record. I think that is like for all first place teams. Yankees are 35-21. The Tigers are 38-20, and the Astros are 31-26. The Phillies are 36-21. The Cubs 36-22, and the Dodgers are 35-22. So among the first place teams, they are the lowest in record, right? And I mean, like the Twins have a close record to them, and they're in second place in the AL Central behind the Tigers, who are a powerhouse. The only other, I mean, the Yankees are blowing through the AL East. I mean, the Rays are the second behind them, and they're 6.5 games back. You know, like if you look at the NL East, right? That's a stacked. You know, they don't even have. They would be in third place in the AL East, behind the Phillies and the Mets. In the NL Central, they would be in third place behind the Cubs and the Cardinals. And then in National League West, they'd be in fourth place behind the Giants, Padres, and Dodgers, right? So you take that with a grain of salt. Yes, great for the Astros. Great that they're figuring it out in this period of where they don't have a lot of tools at the moment. But you have to be honest, in the grand scheme of baseball, it's not a whole lot, right? I mean, they're not even really competing with some of the best teams who are going to be there at the end of the year. So it'll be interesting to see. Again, they're like cockroaches. You never know. They're going to show up. They're going to be there. You can't kill them. They're going to just keep showing up, right? So good for the Astros, but you have to be realistic in the sense that good for their division, but they're not the greatest, or they're not really competing with anyone when it comes to the grand scheme of baseball. But again, we'll see how far that goes and where that lands them. And one more thing, I have two more things. One's kind of a small thing I wanted to talk about, but Mike Trout is back. Mike Trout, who got hurt earlier this year, is making a return. He went 1 for 5. He missed 26 games. I think he played his first game yesterday. He started at DH, crazy enough. But they activated him off the injured list on Friday against the Guardians. He batted fifth for the first time ever. Interesting. As DH, and he went 1 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. Obviously, gonna take some time to get back in there. He's gonna take some time to get back in there. He singled in his second at bat. But other than that, didn't do much after that. Looking here, looks like his original plan was to come back on Monday. But after he worked out on Wednesday, they said he was ready to go. So they put him out there to DH. Obviously, probably not ready to play the field, but they put him at DH. He had a bone bruise in his left knee while he stepped awkward on first base after running out a ground ball. That's the thing, man. Like, and I kind of wanted to take a second to talk about Mike Trout because I haven't really brought him up, but he's one of those guys, man, that like he's so loyal to a T that he's gonna finish his career. And I am hoping, like, here's my hope for Mike Trout, right? My hope for Mike Trout is that he will play the next couple years, but when he's 33, maybe next year, maybe the year after, he's like, all right, I've given my all to the Angels. I've been here through everything, through the height of my talent, my career. I'm going to opt out and I'm going to go try to play and win something. Because he's 33. He's got, at best, with the amount of injuries this man has had, which is already itself not good, you're kind of just like, man, can the man catch a break? And it's honest, no. Shohei dipped. And I get that he wants to play there. He was drafted by them. He wants to be there. He wants to show that loyalty. That's Mike Trout. I get it all the way through. I understand. But at what point are you like, man, I gotta do something with my career. I can't just be here, because the Angels are never going to win anything. They are always down every single year, and they're not putting any pieces together. Obviously, they weren't going to try to build anything around Shohei. It just wasn't going to happen. They had Mike Trout there. They had Shohei Ohtani there, and nothing came of it. So, I'm kind of one of those guys where I'm like, man, are they ever going to do anything with Mike Trout? And the answer just keeps on seeming like no. And it's sad because it's like, what could have possibly been? So I'm hoping, and I don't know his contract. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know. I'm giving you wishful thinking at best, because I don't know. I think that there may be a clause in his contract where he could try to get out of it and maybe try to do something. But already at 33, I mean, his time is ticking downward. You're on the downward spiral, right? I'd say he's probably got another 4 or 5 years, especially with all these injuries. 2 surgeries on his left knee. Last season in 2023, he had a fractured hamate bone in his left hand. He missed the entirety of the season. In 22, he only played 119 games, but missed a month. In 2021, he had a calf strain for 5 months. He only played 39 games. So you've never really seen him at peak, and that sucks because he is one of the best that the game's seen. Wishing him the best. Hopefully he has a great season. Hopefully he's here for a while and he gets back into the field, but hopefully we see more from him as we go into the second half, or at least the latter half of the first half of the season. So it'll be interesting to see. But again, I'm hoping the man can get the hell out of Los Angeles, or maybe to the other side of Los Angeles. I don't know, but just away from the Angels. Away from the Angels. Yeah. And then one last thing I want to talk about. It's not necessarily baseball related, but I don't know if you've seen. Major League Baseball has partnered with AUSL. Now, I remember if you followed me all the way from the bottom of the ninth when I was with Baseball Express, we talked to Sierra Romero, who is playing over there right now. It's a new softball league. I think when I talked to her, it had just like really started to get into in the full swing of things. And it's Athletes Unlimited. And it's pretty cool the way that they run it, man. It's pretty dope. And I don't know if I can get it. I'm going to see if I can find access to that episode so I can reference back to it, because she talked a lot about it. But it's really grown. It's gotten a lot bigger. And here's the thing, man. Like right now, the Women's College World Series is happening. It always happens right before the Men's College World Series. So there's a lot of great ball happening on both sides, softball and baseball, in the NCAA Division I area. So if you haven't been watching that, better go check it out, because I'm going to touch on that probably in the next coming weeks when the College World Series starts. I know, sidetrack off that, a lot of people ask me, why don't you talk about college baseball? Okay, real quick, before I even dig into all that. It's a lot to do baseball, Major League Baseball, with one dude. It's a lot to take care of it, right? to see everything that's happening. I mean, there's a million fucking things happening in baseball right now, right? For me to be like, oh, I'm going to do all this. And then you add in like conference championships and all these different, you got 20 different conferences that are playing Division I baseball competing to get to Omaha. Are you kidding me? Adding all that's my brain's going to explode. I can't even comprehend doing all that, right? So that's why I don't necessarily get into college baseball or get into the weeds of that until the College World Series, because it's manageable. There's 8 teams. It's manageable to look and think about, and it's manageable for me to kind of figure out what I'm going to do with that. And then as well as with that, you get a lot of guys who are draft picks or top draft picks who are going to be playing. So it all kind of feeds in from there. I don't really have the time or energy to dig in from this big. I'd rather scope it like this, right? But anyway, so the Women's College World Series is happening right now. And if you look at the numbers, and this is something I've been telling people for years, for a long time, all in itself, women's softball, college softball specifically, even high school. I love watching softball. It's fast paced, it's intense, it's quick, it's just really fast paced, and it's fun to watch, and it's intense. Like even last night, the walk off with Oklahoma, I think it was last night or Thursday night, was badass. And then the other night, you had the girl throwing the softball, and it hits the dirt piece. Softball is fun in its own regard, and comparing it to baseball is unfair. You're not supposed to do that. You can't do that. It's not the same. And as much as people are like, it's a women's baseball, it's not. It's a completely different sport with completely different things. Are there similarities? Absolutely. But it's 2 completely different games. And I think they need to be respected as such, which is why I've always gotten upset with the fact that, there's the WNBA, which say what you will about the WNBA and women's sports, but there are some absolute monsters that play college softball. And it always upset me because I've known a lot of college softball players growing up. And it's funny because you talk to them and like the biggest thing we could do is go to the Women's College World Series. Like that is our world. I mean, clearly the World Series, but that's our like that. All the eyes are on that, and it's not on professional softball. It's crazy. I went to a professional softball game at Texas State University. That's where they're playing professional softball. What the hell is that? What is that? Like, I get it. It's not Major League Baseball. I get it. And again, they need to be separated. You can't view them as the same. It's not. It's 2 completely different sports. And I think that if even kind of going back to, the Women's College World Series and how big that is, like, here's the thing, like they break records every year for viewership because people want to watch softball. If you look at the stadium in Oklahoma City, it's packed out. It is packed out, sold out every single year. And you're kind of be like, anyone with a marketing looking at it, you're like, why are we not like talking about this or expanding this or making this a real thing? And I don't know, but it looks like finally women's softball, professional softball is going to get some light with the partnership of MLB. It means a lot. That's going to give it a big jump start. So if there's one thing that Manfred did correct, it's this. So I'm super pumped to see where they take this. Again, there's a lot of absolute monsters playing in the AUSL right now. And it's going to be interesting to see where they take it. I'm super pumped for it. I'm actually interested to see what they do with this. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. That's all I got for today. Sorry for the little thing I had. I spilled my drink over here, and I had to grab a shirt to make sure that I didn't get on my work computer, and then on my docking station. I had to kind of get in there and curve that. But once again, guys, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. I came through on my promise. I got 2 episodes out this week. I did it. It was hard, but we got it done. We're going to keep that same cadence. I'll have another one out probably tomorrow or Monday, and then we'll kind of keep it rolling again. Again, follow us on Instagram. Got a lot of stuff happening on Instagram. Twitter, I'm kind of talking here and there during games. Mostly, I don't really get on during the day. I'm not really brainstorming or anything. But during games, mostly at night, I'm on there tweeting. So check me out there. And then TikTok, of course. And then obviously YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, tell me I'm an idiot. Talk with me. I love talking baseball. On TikTok, I have a lot of guys that will respond, and we talk baseball. I'll debate you, man. Be devil's advocate. I don't care. Let's talk baseball. That's what I'm here for, right? So again, guys, be sure to look out for those. Follow us on the social platforms. Like, subscribe on wherever you stream it. Wherever you stream it, give it a like, give it a rating. It helps with the algorithm, helps push the show. So once again, guys, I appreciate you. If you've listened all the way, thank you, and we will catch you guys in the next episode.